Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Tim McCourt. He's the Global Head of Equity Index and Alternative Products at the CME Group. We're going to take a look at the launch of options on the Micro E-mini Nasdaq-100 future. Tim, it's great to have you back with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Yeah, thanks, Jill. Always great to be here, and thanks for having me back.
All right, and before we get into the launch, let's talk about the E-mini Nasdaq-100 Index futures highlights, because it appears that the growth is pretty tremendous with this product.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the Nasdaq in general has had a phenomenal growth story at CME over the last few years, kind of growing about 10% on average in terms of volume. But when we look at the Micro E-mini futures that we introduced last year in May of 2019, that's having a phenomenal run. I mean, it's certainly exceeding my wildest expectations and the team's expectations at CME, where the Micro Nasdaq 100 futures are doing about 572,000 contracts per day here in 2020 and trading over 90 million since launching a little over a year ago. It's a fantastic story for the Micro E-mini futures on the Nasdaq 100.
Let's talk about the launch. What are options on Micro E-mini Nasdaq 100 futures, and when are they expected to launch?
Yeah, so given the popularity and the success of the Micro E-mini futures on the Nasdaq 100, we're excited to introduce options on those futures in the fall of 2020 in just a few months. And the options will give you the right to, or not necessarily the obligation, but the right to buy or sell the underlying Micro E-mini future at a specific price, at a specific maturity, just like any other option in the marketplace. The main difference is the underlying that's delivered is the Micro E-mini Nasdaq 100 future. And that future, and therefore that option, will be the same right size contract at 1/10 the size of the classic E-mini Nasdaq 100. So increasing the precision at which market participants can hedge their portfolio or access the market.
Now, Tim, who are best suited for these products, whether it's the future itself or options on the Nasdaq 100 futures?
That's a great question. It certainly is going to be appealing to the active individual trader who's already fairly sophisticated in their trading in the equity ecosystem. They may already be trading single stocks. They may be trading ETFs or options or futures at CME. So certainly it's going to be that sophisticated trader who's looking to add the next level of risk management with options on futures into their portfolio. But what we've seen with the micro futures, which has been a pleasant surprise, is actually being used by almost all customer segments in the market. Even large buy-side market participants or banks or market-making firms, they can all benefit from the increased precision that the smaller 1/10 contract provides. Especially in the more volatile times, we've seen people using Micro E-minis alongside E-minis as they're looking to scale in and out of their positions and more precisely manage their cash equitization programs or the inflows or outflows of their funds. So it's been a great tool for everyone, and we're hopeful that the same type of balanced participation will present itself when we launch micro options. But hard to say, right now in June what will happen this fall, but we're certainly hopeful for a similar balanced participation early days.
All right, Tim, thanks so much as always for joining.
Thanks, Jill.
And thanks for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.